Hello, here's my video log for the 8th of August. It's 8:18 in the morning, Tuesday. I didn't sleep last night yesterday. I think I got my sleep during the day. It's pretty nice. Maybe I'll get my sleep today. I don't know. Yeah, I was getting kind of groggy, and then I went and got a C4 energy drink, drank it all at once, and smoked a bunch of weed. And oh, you know what? I should show my weed like every day. I need to get in the habit of that. This is like all the weed that I have left. So this weed will last me just a few more hours. I'll have to buy more by the end of the day. Just smoke some. This is 33% sativa. Yeah, so, I finished, yeah, so yesterday I was like finishing organizing the numbers, and it took me forever because, um, well, a long time because Google Earth doesn't organize, right? And I didn't know, really, because I never tried to organize 2,000 things in one thing. It was the 2,000 things instead of mentioning people or tents. I hit A to Z, and it did the 0 to 1,000 after 1 to 2,000. Yeah, and I should have known it. In the back of my head, I knew that was going to happen. And just like it does 100, 0 to 100 after 1,000, and 0 to 10 after 100. So I had to like put them all in their own little thing, drag them up, and then find them their individual ones and drag them up. And because there's so many, and I was like high when I did it. I doubled a bunch, so then I had to finish. Well, actually, I didn't. Yeah, that's why I had to like put the final 6 on the bottom. So yeah, I pretty much finished. And I was gonna put the different areas, color code them for different speeds, but I didn't get around to doing that. I kind of moved on. Then I started moving, yeah, like naming and organizing and fixing, even finishing. Like, yes, distance visualization and all these different things. Interesting things, man. I was like, oh wow, this is cool. And yeah, and I was kind of remembering what I was doing before, and I was like, remembering how it's kind of like difficult to distinguish the difference between Mountaintopia and Boulder Rome. And then I came across, because I was like, I was organizing Mountaintopia, and I was like, I'm kind of tired. Oh, I spent a long time actually building Delphi. I have Delphi in a mountain, and had all these buildings because I noticed on Mountaintopia, I didn't actually build it. Like, it was way less built than I remembered. Never built it. I only traced the buildings. And I'm like, wow. And I even double checked on my, because I had them individually saved for linking. And yeah, it wasn't any better there because, I always make sure to have them saved on the main one. But, so I'm going to have to like add the size and name it. So I was like naming a bunch of them because that's easy to do. And then I came across Delphi. And so I saw these buildings. And so I was like, fuck it, let's just do Delphi. So I looked a map of it with naming the buildings because I knew that existed because I'd seen it before. And so I was just naming all the buildings and drawing new buildings. And so I named all the buildings, and I even made a wall on it. Probably make even a better wall with the polygon, but yeah. So I built Delphi, but it was only 636 meters around. I only did like the smaller one. I guess the original one, the ceremonial area. I built the bigger one. I actually built the bigger version of it a long time ago, but then I lost it. I know, one of the things I lost, but and I didn't. I built it in the mountains here, not on Delphi. So maybe I'll do it again on Delphi. I don't. But so it's cool. And then I moved on, and I was looking at things, and then I came across my person thing because I have a project where I have 160,000 people because I have my 160,000 people on my image, and so I superimposed it, and you can see the individual people. And it's like a size within this size of the town, and it's like a square you can imagine. And I was like in my Boulder Room, an imaginary. I'm gonna make a square big enough to put that many people, and then I can build things around it, and in it, and for like the imaginary area, just to help the visualization. I already a couple of years ago spent, I don't know, it took like a month or something, I don't know, a long time, where I did 40,000, and I have to like manually build them on Google Earth. There's no like batch stuff. That'd be awesome if you could batch create things and edit things on Google Earth. Maybe in the future. I hope they don't change it so much that it makes obsolete the way I built it with the polygon. Like they take the polygon tool out. That's like my biggest fear. that the timing will be so bad that they'll take it away before I get a chance to film it. Because that's why I need to focus entirely on working on this. Because as soon as I finish all my Google Earth stuff and I get it linked on my website and uploaded, I need to also for download on my website. And this is the thing that takes up the space. And I'll probably have to write my server and be like, can you give me more, like 100 gigabytes? I asked for that and they gave me 40. It's because I made a whole bunch of movies on Atlantis. Because if I can make a bunch of movies, and then I have to screen capture them, and then and I think I did get a bunch of screen captures before. I think I accidentally may have deleted a bunch before, but get a bunch of screen captures of it all, of everything I can think of, so that if anything happens and like Google like decides to make obsolete the polygon tool, which is such a simple tool, you'd think they would at least like archive it or put it on the site. I mean, I don't think they would do that, but I would at least have all those screen captures that I could turn into videos. But anyway, because the best thing about Google Earth is for people to open it themselves and explore around it, like, and move around inside. I think it's just as good as any VR. So I spent like all this time, tracing it, and I did it with the polygon tool because I thought it looked better than with the circle tool, which because it has top. Circle tool is just a circle and doesn't have a top. Like I was using that to build tents up in the mountains. The circle tool in combination with the polygon, because the polygon makes the ceiling, and then you can make different colors look cool. But but it was kind of a headache because they're not all the same size, and you have to kind of use extra brain power to focus on making them the same size. So what I realized today, it's way easier to just use a circle where you just zoom in all the way, hold it down, drag to the radius says 0.5, so that gives you a diameter of a meter, which is about the size of a person anyway, about the same size as what I was doing. And so that's convenient. And just do that over and over again. And it's like brain candy stuff. And then it goes down to the temporary. So automatically, whenever you do that tool, it's on the ruler tool. And then you have to click circle because there's like 5 different things on there. So then you have to drag it just drag it really quickly, just one after the other, just ring, 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 without order, just right above, from temporary above into the folder. And then you save the folder, but you have to do that quick because if the, before you're done, with that every round, because, if Google Earth ever crashes, that stuff gets lost, because it's completely it's in the temporary. So, then you save it. So yeah, and then after is when I will then click on it and then name it. And I'm going to do it because it's 160,000 is 400 times 400. And so and the square root of 400. So the square root of 160,000 is 400. The square root of 400 is 20. So I'm going to make, a folder that has each row 400. And then each 400 row has 20 folders of 20. So that when I do like specific, because this is for like this is eventually to rebuild armies. So if I build an army of 50,000, you can build them to the people, and so it's way easier to edit if you have it in these chunks of 20. And rebuild the armies exactly to the T with this 160,000 model, by cutting out the chunks of 20, and then you can I don't know, color edit it if you want. And so, yeah, when I build it, I just build it in like that. It doesn't take any extra time. You just remember to put it in the different folders. And so I'm going to build the folders, onto it later pretty soon. But so right now, all I'm doing is just tracing, tracing. And then every once in a while, I just drag another thing and save. So it's the most brain candy thing you could possibly do, which is great for me now because I want to do a brain candy thing because I've been trying to look for a brain candy thing to do to help myself get into a habit of naming all of these. I think it was like 70,000 or something. I don't know, crazy amount of number of chapters on my books that I have, and I'm doing Marcellinus Roman history right now, and you can do just random chapters, and I have it all set up on my phone. I built it on the Notes app on my computer, and because I have an Apple phone, it just put it right on the phone, and all the exact number of chapters of all the books. And so all I have to do is be like, all right, that chapter, and it's like already right there, and I just write it in. So I'm doing this because I had a C4 like right, not long before I did this video, and smoked as much weed as I could. I smoked so much weed, dude. And so the C4 has niacin, so I'm just like doing like this. But anyway, and I've been up forever. But so so yeah, brain candy. So that means now I can try to get in the habit of just listening to a book, because that is like killing two birds with one stone. That's plus I'm learning something. You know, it's not just being not learning. You know, plateauing with learning, and because I've been listening to a lot of music, which is fun, smoking weed and listening to music, because I've been kind of listening to the like a brain candy thing, but and I have been doing things that were really time consuming, like that, tracing all the rocks. It was actually, I said 1,000, and I actually counted it today because I was doing the touch up work. It was like 969, so it was almost 1,000, like flat irons I found that I traced here. And that took like 5 days or whatever, way more than I thought. But that didn't, I never got into the brain counting of that because I had to think too much. And then for like 2 days, I was working on that, the numbering, the coloring of the people on Manzanilla, the 2,000. But that was kind of not really brain candy because I had to pay attention. Even I still made mistakes on that. But this you can't make a mistake. There ain't no making a mistake. The only thing I have to do is make sure that it's 0.5 radius, and like I'm a stickler on that. I'm like, what's the word? Neurotic, like not even logically neurotic. I'm like crazy about it. It has to be 0.5, which is no problem at all. And you can just barely do it at 0.5 easily. You go all the way down. You can fit about 3 of across. Yeah, and you do it across, and it's like, yeah, it goes, and so you just get in the habit. But yeah, you can't go wrong. You just go, because I'm not numbering them now. And even when you number them, it's brain candy. But this is the most brain candy. You just, they're going, I think I did like, I'm not done with my first row of 400. I'm like 300 across now or something on it. And I went to the store and got a energy drink. And yeah, I've been trying to psych myself up for it. And I did a bunch of, because I want to know how, I was actually doing, while I was working on it, I was talking to Siri, trying to do the math, how long it would take. And I think it would be a month. So it's the 8th of April, August right now. I think it'll be in the 8th, at least, the 8th of September by the time I'm done with that, because I timed myself. I did a YouTube video where they were counting a seconds. It takes 8, I had to be done in 4 seconds each one. To be done a month, and it took 8 seconds. I don't know, maybe it'll take 2 months then. If I'm working 18 hours a day, because 120,000. I have to do 120,000. Because I already did 40,000, so I have to do the 400 across until I get to the 40,000, and I don't have to do that. Those are the ones that I did with the polygon tool, and now I'm doing the circle tool, even though it doesn't have a top. But this one cool thing about the circle tool, when as far as looks, is because when you have the outline with the lines, there's so many lines around it that it gets really bright, way brighter than the polygon. So you can see it from a far way away, and so that'll be cool. And then you can do it without the lines, and so I think you can do more with it visually, but what was I gonna say? Yeah. So I would have to do, if I'm gonna do it in a week, I guess assuming, because I did that math before I realized about the 40,000, but without the 40,000, I'm gonna do it in a week. I'd have to do like 56 a day, rows of 400 across. I'm like, holy shit. But then if you take out the 40,000, I think it was, it was like 33 a day. So 400 times 33, I don't even know what that is, a day, in order to do it in a week. And I was like, oh, I don't think I can do that. So I was like, yeah, realistically. And then if you tack on at the end, I have to number them, you know, all of them, 120,000. That's a whole nother project inside of all different folders. Then I have to create the folders. There's a lot of them, which that's not all that time consuming. So if you add it all up, yeah, I'm thinking maybe a month. But that's a month of brain candy. I mean, for the first couple of days, I'll just be smoking a shitload of weed and listening to music because that was fun. And while I'm just doing here, going, all right, and after a couple of days, after I gauge how many I can do a day, that's when I'm going to, listen to the book. And after a month of that, or maybe 3.5 weeks or whatever, hopefully just a couple of days of this, maybe I'll be in such the, like, the mode that I'll be able to do that in ones that aren't as brain candy as this, like the numbering them. Then I can do it with the numbering them. That's a good step up. And then everything else. And if I can do it just generally across the board, that'd be amazing. That'd be really cool. I got an email yesterday. Oh, I put an ad up. I guess I stopped getting replies to my ad. So I edited it because I edited it to say no animals or no couples because I kept getting ad requests for that. And that like put it back on the top, renewed it. And I got an email from somebody. So maybe they'll call me today. So I'm going to, do that like every couple of days just to keep it on the top. And just totally soak up living here alone and being able to literally make noise. Because I'm like, singing, and what else do I do apart from singing? Talking and rhyming and stuff like that. I can't do that with a roommate here, especially not my last roommate. So, man, it was awesome to be here before when I had my Tegu and Taurus. I want to put the videos up that on my Instagram. So that's what I'm up to, man. That's my new project. It's kind of like, it's like one of those like random ass corner projects that all by itself takes a dickload of time. Another one of those would be the Law Code of America. To put all that up would probably be about a month, I predict now. I think to set it up, it was like a month or something. So yeah, here we go, but on super brain candy, where I can start to try to name the chapters. So yeah, while I'm doing it. Yeah, so yeah, that's cool. I'm looking forward to that. It probably takes about the same or even less brain power as riding a bike, because listening to a book, I think, and riding a bike go really well together. Well, tracing these little things on 50, 50, 50. Yeah, while reading a book go really well together, and then writing it. So yeah, that's all. That's what my video today. Yesterday's video, they took off the channel, the comments, and it's not rated for kids. So YouTube's doing stupid. They're being monkeys. So now I'm going to title this one, just like normal, like what I did. And then if I find out that they fucking, whatchamacallit it on the thing, turn off the comments, I'll change the title and just be like, turn the comments back on. Dick sticks. Peckerheads. Dingleberries. Dillwads. Oh, I've got all kinds of names. So that's my video for today. Talk to you tomorrow.